Hello, it's Dana with Love Soul of Flowers coming to you on Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to all of you. We hope you're having a wonderful day, sharing love with all of your friends and family. We are going to actually be finishing a tutorial that we had started. We did a tutorial on spray foam and how it's good for boxes that are kind of odd shaped. So you can check that out. All of our tutorials end up on YouTube, youtube.com/lovesouloflowers. So you can check out the first half. We're going to finish our craft tonight. And all of our supplies and our flowers are sold on our website, lovesouloflowers.com. And of course, we have a support group where you can share ideas and photos and things like that. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/groups/lovesouloflowers. So we're going to get into our craft. It's actually a very quick craft, especially when the box is this big. But I'm going to show you a couple ways that you can do it. Again, if you haven't seen our video, this is spray foam. Go back into our tutorials and you'll see how we got this and how much it grows and all that kind of good stuff. Now, first thing you're going to decide, we're going to do flowers in a box. You know, a lot of you have seen those boxes that have, you know, filled with flowers. So you're going to want to decide first if you want them to be flush with the top or coming out just a little bit. So I like mine coming out a little bit, but some people like to be able to put the top back on. If you're doing that, obviously your flowers are going to have to be flush. So if your foam did rise too much and you're wanting it a little bit lower, make sure you peel out, scoop out some of that just to make sure that your flowers are going to be right on top of the lid there. Again, I like mine just a little bit elevated out of that so you can see them really well. Now, the other thing is some people do all the same flower. Some people do all the same size. Some people do mix and match. So I'm going to show you on half of it what it looks like when you have different flowers in it. Then I'll do the other half with the same flower, and then I'll show you how you can use even other sizes to fill it up. So you're going to want to use, obviously, flowers that you can kind of be flexible with and it still keep its shape. Some of them, you know, collapse a little bit easier, or you know, things like daisies and things like that. If you're going to put them in, put the rest of your flowers down first and use those kind of like a topper flower. Otherwise, make sure that they're kind of a round flower that can kind of be mushed into space. Now, we're going to use everything on a wire so that you can also move them around once they're in there, just to make sure, you know, you're fitting them into the spot. So again, I've got my spray foam here. Check the tutorial out if you haven't. And then I've got some flowers on the little 18 gauge wires. And I'm just going to start putting them in. Now, if you're the kind of person who wants to make sure you've arranged it well first before you glue them in, you can do that. Otherwise, you can put a little dot of hot glue on the end of your wire and slide it right in, and they'll stay there forever. I'm not going to glue mine in just because I'm going to show half and half, and I don't want it to stay like that forever. So I'm just going to start placing, and what you want to do is you're going to make sure that you're getting as close to the edges as possible, because you're wanting it to be, you know, not gaps if you can avoid gaps. And I'm just going to put it in. So this side, I'm going to just show you what it's like if you're doing different flowers. All right. So let me just show you. How quick and easy was that? Of course, you could dye your flowers if you wanted to even do like pink or something like that, since I have a red box. Or of course, if you're using a black box or white box, you could use whatever colors you want. These are good for birthday presents, for Mother's Day gifts. But see how I like mine to come up above. Again, if you're wanting it flush, you're gonna not want as much foam in there. So when you're filling it up, even, you just use less foam. But also, if it overflows more than you thought it would, you can always dig some of that out. So again, this is just a mixture of flowers, but if I wanted to do the same flower, I certainly can do that as well. I'm going to show you that. And some people don't like any gaps, so let me just put this with this and I'll show you. So let's just say that wire is a little long. Here we go. Okay, so now this half, I used the same flowers. Again, this is our new beauties. These are 3-inch flowers. Of course, if you want more flowers, you can use 2-inch flowers or 1-inch flowers, and then you'd have a lot more flowers. But this makes it super quick and easy. But as you can see, this side, you know, if you want a mixture of flowers, this side has the same flowers. Now, if you're the kind of person who's really, really, really opposed to gaps, if you have a little gap, obviously you can put your little minis in there. This one doesn't necessarily have a gap, but if it did, let me just show you how cute that could look too. So even if you wanted to try different sizes, kind of like a heartboard, if you've ever made a heartboard, how sometimes you can mix it up. So if you want to add some of your little minis in there in gaps, if you're using a different flower too, that gives you more gaps. The New Beauty is kind of hardy, so you can kind of squish it together and it still fills all the space up. But just in case you have gaps, you're welcome, to use those little babies to fill it in. Otherwise, what I like to do is just kind of bend it until it kind of fluffs into those spaces, and then you won't have gaps anyway. So again, that's why I use wire. I don't use like a stick where it can't bend around, because you're wanting the heads to be able to move around. So again, this half, obviously I've used the same flower. Of course, if I take this out, it's also the same size. This side would look more of what it would look like if you did a mixture. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 different styles, and you can do that as well. Again, sometimes these flowers, see, I even broke it just shoving it in there a little bit hard, but sometimes these types of flowers are a little bit more fragile. You got to be careful when you're shoving them down. New Beauties obviously work really well because they're super hardy, and you can push those in. Even skinned flowers would look really pretty because you get that two-tone effect. So again, quick and easy project. Again, the beginning of the tutorial is on our YouTube channel about how to fill odd-shaped boxes with foam, and then just a quick, easy project. Again, imagine if these were colored, if they were pink, and again, you can do different color boxes, different sizes, squares, all those kind of fun things. That foam just fills up any shape you've got, and then look how easy and quick it is. You don't need a ton of flowers to look pretty, and these are super popular, obviously, as gifts, especially if you are, thinking about things to sell at markets and things like that, for Mother's Day, for men to get their wives, these kind of things. And of course, you could always scent them with using essential oils or fragrant oils, and then they can smell actually forever too. And it's kind of almost like a potpourri box. But good for markets to sell to men too, who can grab them for their wives, again, for Mother's Day, and birthdays and things like that. So that is our little Valentine's project. Again, I didn't glue these in, but they ain't going anywhere, but you could always glue them in if you want to make sure that they're permanent. All right, I hope you enjoyed that tutorial.